Hello again, NCAC sports fans, and welcome back to another episode of This Week in the NCAC. I'm your host, Brett Billhart. Well, for the second time in the last 3 weeks, we have the distinct honor of congratulating another NCAC squad for capturing a 2011 NCAA Division III National Championship. The Ohio Wesleyan men's soccer team brought home the Walnut and Bronze Trophy to Delaware, Ohio after defeating Calvin 2-1 on Saturday evening in San Antonio, Texas. The Battling Bishops, led by legendary head coach Jay Martin, earned the program's second national title all time and the fifth in school history across all sports. The Bishops opened play over the weekend with a convincing 4-0 victory over Montclair State in the national semifinals, receiving goals from John Stegner, Travis Wall, Tyler Bryant, and Matt Bonfini. In the national finals against Calvin, the Bishops and Knights were stuck in a defensive battle for a majority of the first half, but OWU took advantage of their scoring opportunities in the final 6 minutes of the first half to take a 2-0 advantage into the locker room. In the 39th minute, sophomore Paolo Bucci slipped a pass to Wall, who beat the Calvin goalkeeper for the Bishops' first goal, while Bucci came through for OWU just 2 minutes later as he corralled a loose ball and fired it into the back of the net to put the Bishops up 2-0. Calvin made things interesting in the 51st minute with a goal by Travis Vector to make the score 2-1. However, junior goalie Paul Hendricks and the OWU defensive unit bowed their necks and stymied the Calvin offensive attack down the stretch to secure the 2011 national title. Wall was recognized for his efforts over the two-day event as the tournament's most outstanding offensive player, while senior Dylan Stone was named the tournament's most outstanding defensive player for his efforts on the OWU back line. They were joined on the all-tournament team by Bucci, Bonfini, and senior defender Andrew Miller. And as if the national crown wasn't enough, Jay Martin also established himself as the most successful collegiate soccer coach in the history of the NCAA across all divisions. The victory against Calvin in the national championship match pushed Martin's overall career record to 608, 115, and 49, which makes him the winningest soccer coach in NCAA history as he surpassed Joe Bean, who previously held the distinction after compiling 607 wins from 1962 to 2006. The OWU senior class comprised of Matt Bonfini, Tyler Bryant, Rafi Fratkin, Steve Goebel, Tavon Levian, Andrew Miller, Dylan Stone, and Travis Wall will not only close out their careers with a national championship to their credit, but also an overall career record of 78-11-5, including an impressive 34-0-1 mark in NCAC matches. With the OWU national title, the 2011-12 athletic season is shaping up to be one of the most successful in North Coast Athletic Conference history, as it is the first time that two non-swimming teams have captured NCAA Division III titles in the same season. The Wittenberg volleyball program also captured its first national title 2 weeks ago with a 3-0 victory over Christopher Newport in St. Louis, Missouri. We again want to congratulate the Ohio Wesleyan men's soccer family and head coach Jay Martin as they once again cemented themselves in the history book as national champions. Now turning our attention to the gridiron, the Wabash Little Giants saw their impressive 2011 season come to an end with a 20-8 loss against Mount Union on Saturday in Ohio in the quarterfinal round of the NCAA Division III football playoffs. Wabash trailed Mount Union 17-0 at halftime and went down 20-0 early in the third quarter. The Little Giants did get on the board with 6:59 left in the game after the Purple Raiders took an intentional safety in their own end zone to make the score 20-2. Wabash's offensive unit also found the end zone in the fourth quarter on a 4-yard scamper from junior quarterback Chase Belton, but the comeback bid was halted by Mount Union's defensive unit down the stretch to secure the Purple Raiders' 17th consecutive trip to the national semifinals. In his final game at Wabash, senior linebacker C.J. Gum posted a game-high 13 tackles, including 2.5 sacks, against a Mount squad that had only allowed 10 total sacks through 12 games this entire season. The Little Giants conclude the 2011 season with an overall record of 12-1, including a 6-0 mark in NCAC play, which earned them the program's 6th conference title since joining the league in the 1998-1999 season. We once again want to congratulate Wabash head coach Eric Rayburn and the entire Little Giant football program for yet another successful season on the gridiron this fall. And now turning our attention back to the winter sports scene, let's take a look at swimming and diving action from across the conference over the weekend. The Denison men ran away with the Miami of Ohio Invitational, outdistancing themselves from the rest of the field by 786.5 points. In addition, the Big Red posted 14 NCAA automatic qualifying A-cut times and provisionally qualified for the national championships with 39 B-cut times. Leading the way for the Big Red at the predominantly Division I meet was sophomore Al Week, who shattered his own national record in the 1650 freestyle after touching first in an A-cut time of 15:05.14. Week also posted A-cut times in the 500 free and as a member of the 800 free relay. Week was named the NCAC Men's Athlete of the Week for his efforts. The DePaul men also captured a team title over the weekend as the Tigers took first out of 8 teams at their own DPU invite with a meet record 1,146 points. In women's action, the DePaul Tigers also took first place at the DPU invite, paced by senior Katie Baker, who posted NCAA B-cut times in the 100 breast with a time of 105.74 and the 200 breast with a time of 219.76. The Denison women's squad also competed at the Miami invite, finishing in 3rd place overall. Big Red freshman Michelle Howell was named the NCAC's Women's Athlete of the Week after posting 2 A-cut times and 2 B-cut times at the event. Howell earned A-cut standards in the 400 IM with a time of 4 minutes and 22 seconds, .58, and the 200 fly, 202.63. NCAC swimming and diving action will take a month-long break for the holiday season, with most teams returning to the pool on the second weekend of January. And we'll conclude this week's show by looking at NCAC action on the hardwood from last week. NCAC play got underway on the women's side with Allegheny jumping out to an early lead in the league standings after defeating Worcester and Ohio Wesleyan. Also earning league wins last week were DePaul, Hiram, and Wittenberg. DePaul, which is ranked 11th in the nation by D3Hoops.com, has been on quite an impressive 4-game stretch, knocking off Illinois Wesleyan, Washington University of St. Louis, Millikin, and Denison. NCAC Women's Basketball Player of the Week recipient Katie Aldrich was one of the key contributors on the week for the Tigers, as she scored 66 points and pulled down 26 rebounds against national competition. Hiram is also riding a 4-game winning streak as the Terriers picked up victories over Teal and Worcester last week. Hiram senior Tiffany Shields led the squad with 34 points and 10 rebounds over the 2-game stretch. NCAC women's action continues this week, with 3 games on the slate for Wednesday and 2 on Saturday. And on the men's side, 6 NCAC squads notched a victory on the opening week of the season, including Wabash, Worcester, Ohio Wesleyan, DePaul, Wittenberg, and Denison. Denison posted an overall record of 2-1 on the week, defeating Capital and Hiram before falling to Wabash on Saturday. The win over Capital snapped an 11-game winless streak against the Crusaders dating back to the 1992 season. Senior Larry Farmer, who is this week's NCAC Men's Player of the Week award winner, led the Big Red with 18 points in both DU victories and also added a career-high 14 rebounds in the win over Hiram. Worcester is picking up right where it left off last season as the Fighting Scots improved to 5-0 overall and 1-0 in league action with victories last week over Wilmington, Kenyon, and Adrian. The Scots have received immediate production from freshman Xavier Brown as he leads the squad by averaging 17.8 points through the first 5 games of the season. Men's NCAC action also continues in the coming week with 3 games each on Wednesday and Saturday. And fans, we once again thank you for tuning in for another episode of This Week in the NCAC, and we hope you tune in next week to get your weekly fix of action from across the North Coast Athletic Conference. And as always, for up-to-date stats and standings on your favorite NCAC squads, you can visit our website at www.northcoast.org.